Carl is here with me now, the maestro of Banter. Jim, I want you to inform everyone heading down to the music trail this year what Banter is.
Banter is a well-travelled and well-seasoned series of public talks, interviews and discussions. We started in Twisted Pepper in Dublin in July 2009. It covers a gambit, a wide, I suppose, spread of issues, topics, themes and what have you. It's basically all about curiosity, really. It's like if we're curious about something, we all have to banter. Over the years we've done banters on craft beer, disco, Madonna, Bruce Springsteen, politics, technology, books, masculinity, feminism and a rake of other stuff. There's been the Banter in Dingle in December is Banter number 98 and we've had over 500 guests at this stage.
So what's the setup with Banter down in Dingle now? Who's going to be coming down?
Gavin Sheridan, people will know from the story that he is formerly the Director of Innovation at Storyful. He'll be talking about like how you can use existing laws to find out the truth about Irish organisations and I suppose also kind of like follow the money. Delrintas everyone knows, and we're going to be talking to Kieran and Niall about what it's like to be in a band in 2014. Rob Doyle is the kind of like I suppose award-winning author of that great book Here Come the Young Men. Joe Caslan, everyone knows Joe Caslan's work. He's the guy behind those amazing sort of like giant boy in a hoodie, I suppose, kind of like murals which have popped up all around the country in the last year. And then we've also got Paul Gavin. Paul Gavin doesn't really need any instruction to anyone in Dingle or anyone watching this. I mean, he will be fairly mouthy. That's quite good. We also got Paddy Cosgrave, who's the kind of the founder of the website. So he'll be talking about how he got from 0 to 22,000 people without any need for Wi-Fi whatsoever on the RDS. We've told Paddy and Co. there is no Wi-Fi whatsoever in Foxy John's. And then we've got Noreen Hegarty, and people know Noreen Hegarty is the former editor of the Sunday Tribune and also Independent.ie. She's now in London working as the managing editor with Lonely Planet, so she'll also be talking about what she does at Lonely Planet and travel writing. But we're also going to get her to retrace her steps in the Irish media ecosystem as well.
And what do you want people to kind of take away from Banter? What's the ultimate experience of it if they're checking in for an hour of talk?
I suppose what they go away with, which is learn something they haven't learned before. I mean, it could be anything. Like, you know, I'll give you an example from a recent banter we did in Dublin on cocktails. Do you know there's a bar in Limerick which uses Poland mints to add mint to their drinks? I mean, that's something I didn't learn before banter. So when we got someone like Dingle bringing in the roadshow, we've got like 8 really interesting people. So we like my job really is to kind of like is to get them to relax for a start and get them to start talking and telling stories I haven't told before. And so there's something about kind of like, I suppose, the banter setup. You know this. I mean, when you do interviews, you know, all the time. If it's just a one-on-one, there's no audience there. It's kind of, it can be staid enough. I mean, here we've got like, we've got some other people in the room recording it, but like, with a live audience, it's a totally different dynamic. You know, it's just there's an energy in the room, and when it works, when it crackles, you get some amazing stuff. We did an interview last year. We did like I was thinking about this when I was walking down. Last year there was 3 amazing interviews. That's 3 or 4 amazing interviews actually that stood out a mile. One was John Grant. I mean, John Grant was bringing people to tears there. I mean, that was a very emotional interview. He didn't hold back. It was a great interview. David Gray was another one. I didn't expect David Gray to be as forthcoming and honest as he was, and he arrived in there. He was so busy. Like he was just literally like right in, sat down and just started talking. That was fantastic. Donald Ryan's really interesting because Donald Ryan had been interviewed so many times because of the 2 books, The Thing About December and The Spinning Heart. He was a seasoned interviewee at that stage. But a lot of people hadn't realised that one of the reasons why he's such a good talker is that he's a qualified barrister, you know, and that never come out in interviews. And you're just bringing that stuff out. It's always really interesting when you say something to an interviewee that they don't realise you know, and then look at the horror in their face is quite interesting. And the other interview that was really interesting was Alice Maher, because it's like, you know, she was someone who's just like she was very dogged, but at the same time, as you talk to her, there was more and more coming out, and it was a really good interview. But like in the case of Alice's one, I mean, that was one where you kind of, okay, as an interviewer you had to kind of work at it. So anyone who was there for those interviews came away having found out something about those particular artists that they may not have known beforehand.
Why do you think Foxy John's works for this kind of thing?
I think Foxy John's works because, like, I really think that it's just a great little space. I mean, we don't take over the whole place with like you know, you still got the front bar and hardware shop, and you still got the kind of smoking area at the back. So we're in that little room with the kind of like turf fire in between. I think it works because it's casual. You know what I mean? There's no kind of like pretense about it. Molly King sticks out 40 or 50 chairs. If the chairs are full, people can stand up around the place. It's very relaxed and very chill. And this is something I suppose we're trying to do with kind of like banters in different places now. There's just not don't make it formal. So many of these kind of like public talks and interviews and discussions are just like full of rerun and bully because it's a format to them. And what we're supposed to do with Banter is just break that format in a way. You come in, it's a pub, it's in the middle of the day, you know, we've got some music playing, people maybe hanging from the night before, people maybe getting ready for a big night out, but like, you know, there's football being screened inside the front bar, so it's very casual. But what happens, I find amazing, is that when people come in, they do become glued to discussions, even though sometimes it may be with someone they know nothing about. You know, it just works because it's just a really good atmosphere. But like, there's something about Dingle. I mean, you know, it's really funny. I started working with Other Voices in 2012, and I remember going down kind of like, do not drink the Kool-Aid, do not drink the Kool-Aid, do not drink the Kool-Aid, because there's this whole kind of like, I suppose, notions around Other Voices or whatever. And there's kind of like, I suppose, like, you know, it's all about the church. And I was going, okay, do not drink the Kool-Aid. And I came back going, I had a great time. And I was in the church for one act only. And last year I was only in church for one act as well. It's not about the church. There's just a vibe in Dingle at that particular time of year. It smells of Christmas. You know, it's December and it does smell of Christmas. You know, normally you stay in the Skelly's Hotel and they've got a tree with some sort of, I don't know, just like stuff around the tree. Essence of stuff. And it's like, it smells like Christmas. And like, the whole thing with Dingle is I've noticed the last couple of years, it's drawing in loads of head of balls and loads of really interesting people and loads of kind of like, just randomers and like, I mean, madzers, and like, they're there to have a good time. They're not there for the church, they're not there for the Dolphin, they're not there for anything except just to have a good time, because that's where they know other people are going to be at that particular time.
Jim, I'll see you down in Foxy's.
I'll see you there. We've also got some music as well down there, so it's like, when is this? This is going out during the week, so we've got some very special guests. We've got a guest who the title of the pub goes very well with. We've got a guest who has appeared at Our Voice in time past, but this particular artist is not on the lineup this year, and this particular artist is coming especially to Dingle to do Banter. And we've got two amazing local trad outfits as well that we're sticking together. So like, if you're coming down for the chance, don't forget the music as well.
Thanks, Jim.